Well, it was, yeah, okay. Well, we'll go beyond that. Good try. We do have the wind condition coming too right now. The winds have been quite strong here. They will be this evening, but then we'll see a little bit of lightening up overnight. But really, we still under this northwest pattern here, and it does occasionally drag a cold front through. That's when we get the wind. We cool down a little bit, but overall, this is going to shift a little bit further north over time. The next one coming down is just right now. So pattern-wise, it's still going to be dry, but we do have these cold fronts coming through, and one will be through later tonight. We'll see increasing clouds late this evening, and the shower activity associated with the front will stay really probably to the east of the area overnight. But as this front kind of, as we call it, kind of like a backdoor front because it's heading to the southwest, it'll head all the way down as we get closer to the morning commute. It should be around the La Crosse area, so you'll start seeing a few more clouds for the morning commute. Not a lot, but there's an opportunity for some actually flurry or shower activity. It just depends on where you're at. You can see a little bit pops up there just west of La Crosse, heading down towards the morning. Right there could be a streak or two of shower activity as that front kind of sits there, starts falling apart, but then we're going to start losing that by the time we get to noon, so less cloud cover, but the temperatures are not going to respond too much given that we're going to have that northwest wind. And then towards the evening, we'll start seeing the winds begin to turn around again because this front that was to the south, it's going to begin to lift north. Winds will start turning around, and we'll see actually steady to maybe rising temperatures Wednesday night going into Thursday. So wind speeds, they will drop off a little bit, but probably not until after midnight. So still, you're looking at potentially over 20 with some gusts near 30 to 35. As we get towards after midnight, they'll start turning a little bit more towards the west, northwest, or northwest behind that front. So even tomorrow morning, you still could see winds 10 to 15 with some higher gusts, but then the rest of the day, they should become more light and variable towards the late afternoon. So tomorrow's highs still above average, but nothing like we saw today, probably about a 10 to 15 degree drop. Some areas further towards Prairie du Chien could still get into the low 40s. Otherwise, most areas will stay in the 30s. Temperatures Wednesday night actually are going to probably drop off a little bit in the evening, then start rising as the winds turn around to the south. So these are more probably at around midnight and will probably rise to closer to freezing as we wake up Thursday morning. Here's your highs. Everyone probably, except further north, will probably be in the 50s. We're talking potentially mid-50s. They had mid-50s out in central Iowa today too. So definitely with no snow on the ground, with that wind out of the southwest, you're probably definitely going to get to the mid-50s. And if we look at record level temperatures, it's likely going to happen here in La Crosse. Eau Claire is going to get close. This depends on what the temperatures look like, but overall we should. Friday, behind that cold front coming through, we have another cold front coming through. We'll bring our temperatures back down, but we're only going back down to the 40s. Still mild conditions, just won't be the 50s going on. Now there is precipitation, but the storm track that's going to come up Thursday night is going to stay to the south. As you see, all the clouds begin to approach Thursday night, but all this precipitation stays right to our southeast. So if you got travel plans down there, looks to be wet but rain. The good news is we're going to stay on the north end, so we're just going to see cloud cover Thursday and Friday. The precipitation for the most part should stay south. We do have an opportunity for precipitation, but that doesn't come till into the weekend with snow or actually rain Saturday night into Sunday. We could see some accumulation with that, but for the most part, we're going to see temperatures go back next week below average a little bit, but more typical of early February once we get past Groundhog Day. So enjoy the mild conditions. A little bit cooler tomorrow, but remember 39 is like 10 degrees above average. Yeah. But it might feel a little colder than we had today.
Sure, but again, feeling pretty darn good.
Yeah, you can't complain about these next 3 days, even though we might be back in the 30s or 40s for Friday. But 54, 55, we could see some mid-50s definitely.
That's looking darn good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Greg.